Organizations are not just businesses or companies that supply products and services to the market. Organizations are also unique social constructs given rise by specific cultural norms characterizing each organization. The study of organizational culture is wide and multifaceted. It analyzes many organizational key components individually and collectively for the purpose of understanding what truly separates an organization from all the rest. At the core of the organizational culture, we have to recognize people's attitudes, feelings, and contributions as the nucleus of organizational success and effectiveness. Hello, Dr. Sanchez and classmates. My name is Marlene Sabeh, and I am excited to present to you my graduate project in the Organizational Culture class at Amberton University. In my project, I research and highlight the organizational analysis of Adobe Systems Incorporated. I thank you for the time you are dedicating to watch my presentation and look forward to your comments and feedback. First, let's look at the overview of the project. My project will entail explaining the concept of organizational culture and components, relaying the Adobe Business Profile. Then a literature review will be included that will comprise Adobe's culture, the metaphors, the logos, the espoused beliefs. Then a viewing of Adobe Live video, the effect of organizational culture on Adobe's leadership, a viewing of the check-in procedure, the effect of organizational culture on Adobe's performance, the effect of organizational culture on Adobe's effectiveness. Globalization will also be relayed. Adobe's cultural constraints will be explained, the results of the analysis, and then the students' recommendations. A synthesis will follow, future studies will be elaborated, and then a conclusion. Before the case study is illuminated, it is important to define what organizational culture is and elaborate its importance and relevance to the project. Organizational culture is a group of shared assumptions, beliefs, and values that govern how things are done in any organization. Alvison, 2013, explained that the culture of an organization reflects its experiences, philosophy, expectations, and rules that are developed over time and in a unique, distinct way that encompasses all aspects of organizational life. Organizational culture comprises key components such as beliefs or shared values that determine how business is conducted, metaphors that unite employees, managers, and customers under one recognizable theme, artifacts that reflect the essence of what the organization offers as services, and general attitudes relayed in how feelings are expressed, decisions are made, and ideas acknowledged and integrated. Alvison, 2013, highlighted how culture is important in that it emphasizes performance, growth, and success. It also provides guidelines for customer care, product quality, employee satisfaction, and ultimately the performance and effectiveness of the organization. Therefore, the main interest in analyzing a culture is to identify the strengths and weaknesses of an organization and make executive changes as needed. Here is the Adobe Business Profile. The case study selected for this project is Adobe Systems Incorporated. Adobe is a very successful software development company in the technology industry. It was founded in 1982 in San Jose, California, by John Warnock and Charles Geschke. It wasn't until 1986, though, that Adobe went public with its market share value at 17 cents. During its first year, the revenue of the company was zero, but in 1999 it reached $1 billion, and in June of this year, 2016, it was reported to be $5.31 billion. Adobe employs close to 14,000 people. It has over 48 offices around the globe in locations such as Brazil, India, Ireland, the United Kingdom, Japan, China, Korea, Singapore, Australia, South Africa, France, Germany, the Republic of Moldova, and of course in many American states like California, Massachusetts, Washington, Utah, New York, and Virginia. For the purpose of creating a valid profile of Adobe's corporate culture, Adobe's official website and a literature review of peer-reviewed scholarly articles were utilized. Adobe is perceived to be a company of revolutionary ideas. According to its president and CEO, Shantanu Narayan, the general purpose of the company is to revolutionize how the world engages with ideas and information. Adobe managers want to remain the leaders of the competition by operating a highly competitive and creative software industry. The company emphasizes innovation at the core of its identity, an identity that supports a fast-growing success in the field of technology. Adobe's mission statement is the following: "We believe in working hard and playing hard and know the value of a good work-life balance." The corporate culture of Adobe enhances continual learning and development. According to Patel, 2015, Adobe does not believe in micromanaging as it inhibits employees' capabilities in being creative and innovative. Rankings are also omitted from the culture as they are believed to obstruct teamwork. Adobe gives its employees stock options so that they have both a system of stake and reward, feeling that they truly are part of the company. The culture enhances and promotes trust in its employees, which in turn allows them to be independent and capable of helping the company grow. Adobe is also a culture of diversity and inclusion. Managers at Adobe believe that great ideas come from anywhere in the company, and the more diverse the workforce, the greater the success. Inclusion is also at the core of the culture. The employee networks, such as Access Adobe, Adobe Proud, the LGBTQ, Adobe and Women, Asian Employee Network, Black Employee Network, Hispanic and Latino Employee Network, and Veterans Employee Network, help foster an inclusive work environment. The following is a video that deftly depicts the work atmosphere and culture of Adobe at one of its locations in the state of Utah.
Welcome to Marriott MBA Today. I'm Tim Hansen, and we're here to talk about a few of the unique aspects of working at Adobe in Lehigh. Employees at Adobe in Lehigh have a gym, a rock climbing wall, a video game room, and all the free soda they can drink. MBA Today reporter Haley Shockless tells us why the company managers think all these distractions make people work harder.
Yeah, Tim, it's a really unique place. Adobe's offices often look like a daycare for adults than it does an actual workspace. The culture at Adobe is different than a lot of other companies, and I found that their employees know how to work hard while having fun. If these people look like they're goofing off on the job, they are, but they won't get in any trouble. In fact, their bosses want them to enjoy themselves. They say the harder you play, the harder you work.
I think Adobe really values their employees much more than any other company I've ever been at. I think the work is very meaningful here. We're on the edge of something new and exciting.
In addition to the game rooms, the architecture of the Adobe building also reflects the culture of the company. The chairs are all different. This wall was painted by a graffiti artist, and this room is dedicated to Mario, of the Mario Brothers video game fame. This is a graffiti art mural of a girl drawing, which embodies Adobe's vision of bringing art and science together.
I would just say the boldness of the building. When you drive down the freeway and you see this thing that clearly is unique to not just Lehigh, to Utah County, but to the state, that's what I love about it. It's a uniquely open and innovative and cutting edge and bold statement that we're making that I think is a reflection of who we are as a company, what our culture is.
Adam Eschenroder got his MBA from BYU last year. Now he manages the business model and pricing division. He says Adobe values their employees.
I think Adobe takes a holistic approach when it comes to their work environment. I mean, it's not just about the gym or about physical fitness, but it's also about meeting people that have similar interests. There's all kinds of clubs. They're focused on overall wellness and having a good work-life balance.
Eschenroder also loves his job because it gives him a chance to apply the business principles he learned in school.
My MBA did several things for me. I think the most important thing is it helped me think bigger. It made me realize that my goals need to be bigger, my aspirations need to be bigger, but it also helped me become a better person. I feel like I'm much more able to go out and change the world.
Ashley Chen is the marketing manager for the demand generation team at Adobe. She likes all the perks at work and says the environment helps her be more creative in her job.
So it was great because it gave me this great combination of right brain and left brain thinking. In a graduate program, you do a lot of research and statistical analysis, so I had experience doing that. I was comfortable with numbers. But at the same time, I was able to continue to develop the right brain creative skills.
In an attempt to motivate employees to use the stairs, the building is designed with this ball retrieval game. You drop the balls into the wire-covered tubes and watch them roll down the maze and pick them up in the basket at the bottom. Mealtime doesn't follow a schedule at Adobe. No break whistles here. When the employees get hungry, they go to this mammoth-sized cafeteria.
So we have the full range of functions that are represented here, but I would say that the common theme across all of those departments and functions is that people are passionate about what we do. And I think that passion is reflected in the architecture that you see in the building. It's reflected in the materials that we've chosen. It's reflected in the people that you meet when you walk through the building. It's uniquely energetic and enthusiastic to be part of this Adobe family here.
For MBA Today, I'm Haley Shockless. The Utah Adobe site sits on a 38-acre lot, but they already have plans to add 120,000 square feet this year.
Sounds like a fun place to work.
Absolutely, I would definitely want to work there.
So would I. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Merit MBA Today. We'll see you next time.
The culture of inclusion and competitive innovation is apparent in Adobe's leadership. In the article, Adobe Nurtures Its True Leaders in 2013, the senior vice president of the company explained how, rather than implementing off-the-shelf leadership development programs, the company decided to create their own leaders. This is an exact exemplification of the inclusion cultural norm where employees bring into play the company's vision, strategy, challenges, and opportunities, as well as their own innovative ideas. Furthermore, the culture at Adobe encourages employees to think like the managers do, which is globally and collaboratively. Since it is a revolutionizing effort to maintain the lead in a highly competitive market, new leaders are often encouraged to think globally and establish relationships with their peers around the world. Because Adobe values people, managers emphasize that good leaders put people first as their best asset. They believe that leaders need to recognize that people are the ones who bring organizations to life, and that systems and business models serve only to facilitate that. In paralleling the cultural norm at Adobe pertaining to leadership, Morris, 2009, explained how the Adobe leadership experience was created and operated. To develop the program, Adobe partnered with the Haas School of Business at the University of California, Berkeley. The employees who take part in this initiative are generally senior directors or top executives who report directly to the CEO. Nominations are understandably based on the candidate's outstanding achievements and potential to help Adobe to the next level of growth and success. The integrated program contains 3 parts. In phase 1, each participant is assigned a coach who identifies the strengths to be built on, as well as opportunities for development. Candidates also complete an intensive online module explaining best Adobe practices related to finance. In phase 2, a 5-day condensed off-site classroom training at the University of California, where candidates learn about finance, marketing, innovation, globalization, and more, follows phase 1. The coaches then discuss with candidates ways to implement what was learned at Adobe. In the 3rd phase, candidates begin working on individual business challenges that last 3 months and then get evaluated by senior executives who render their recommendations and decisions for next steps. Measuring success follows all 3 phases, and based on Adobe statistics, 86% of managerial positions are typically filled by candidates who attended the ALE ever since its inception. Revolutionizing how things are done affects leadership as well. The ALE is an excellent example how Adobe applies its cultural norms to prepare better leaders. The following video, the check-in process introduced by Senior Vice President of People Resources Donna Morris in 2012, embodies the effect of Adobe's cultural on leadership.
Check-in is the process where you create a career development plan, check in with your manager on performance and expectations, and receive feedback and also provide feedback to your manager. That's good.
Well, check-in takes the old performance reviews that people would try to cram in at the end of the year, or if it was twice a year, the last minute, and instead spreads that out, and so that it's more of an ongoing conversation.
We are changing at a very fast pace. We're running a program that is about cultural evolution, and we need to respond to that very quickly.
It helps you have the conversation framework that everybody can point to.
And it makes it, hey, you did a really great job on that presentation. Let me give you some tips on how we can make that better for next time. Or, hey, you're going to go present to an executive. Let me set you up for that. And then immediately after the meeting, give that immediate feedback.
And because, you're in the moment and you're talking about things that are relevant and appropriate right then and there, it gives you an opportunity to have a much more honest, more candid conversation.
I find that the process allows me to make adjustments and get feedback, and it's the results that are very encouraging.
A big component of it is my own personal career pursuit and where I want to go, what I want to learn, and what I want to achieve.
And check-in is a good forum to have that conversation.
My career is mine. No one else cares about my career more than me, than perhaps my mother.
If you check in as you go along the way, you get to see your progress. And that builds the momentum to go just one step further. and one step further until that goal is achieved.
The effect of cultural norms on Adobe's performance is also clear. The innovations and revolutionizing steps are immensely apparent in the outstanding performance of the company. Maher, 2012, explained that Adobe's culture is detectable in its fervid effort to remain the leader in innovation and creativity, attempting to stick with a cycle of product release no longer than 18 months. Furthermore, the new opportunities offered online, such as Business Catalyst, that provides content management, e-commerce, and reporting and analytic features, are boosting the company in the highly competitive market against any web developing companies using modules from a variety of low-cost or free sources. The trend shows that Adobe's culture has allowed it to have a steadily growing performance year after year. In 2015 alone, the company acquired 800,000 new customers, and the 2016 statistics reflect an excellent year, showing a revenue of $1.4 billion in the second quarter of 2016 only, and a June 2016 cash flow of $489 million from operations, and a deferred revenue growing to reach $1.68 billion. The effect of cultural norms on the effectiveness of Adobe are also relayed in so many ways. First, Adobe acquired a broader range of customers, ranging from web developers, photographers, videographers, commercial customers, schools, universities, government, students, and teachers. Along with having a strong brand reputation, Adobe still highlights its human capital as the most important asset, according to Maher 2012. Furthermore, Adobe has achieved a high investor trust with stock share value at approximately $91 and a volume of exchange of $2,640,100. These figures are from June 2016. In the article Company Spotlight, Adobe Systems Incorporated, published in 2006, it was conveyed that one of the most effective features of Adobe is its high degree of compatibility, namely with Microsoft Windows, Apple operating system, Linux, Unix, and portable device systems such as Palm OS, Pocket PC, and the Symbian operating system for cellular phones. Therefore, the company is not restricted to one operating system, which in turn helps increase its appeal, market share, and profitability. Last but not least, in August 2006, Adobe received the Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design Platinum certification for its tedious efforts to transform the California location into water and energy efficient buildings. The culture of innovation and continuous learning is apparent in Adobe's efforts to promote sustainability. It amazingly reduced electricity use by 35%, gas use by 41%, and indoor water use by 22% at that location. The effect of Adobe culture on globalization is evident in its wide array of products that target different consumers in different fields of work in different parts of the planet. Moreover, the effect is also apparent in the company's continuous effort to facilitate the conversation with suppliers and customers, as explained by Bala 2008. The need to connect people from different parts of the globe, new products and services such as web conferencing were introduced to reach as many participants as possible. Bala 2008 explained how Acrobat Connect is an excellent tool that allows individuals to freely exchange interactively and in real time. Adobe's innovative approach to leading the industry has a clear effect on globalization, especially as it recognized the need for the same products in multiple locations all over the world. In addition to products and services, the creation of the Adobe Leadership Experience in 2006 and later the Adobe Business Leadership in 2008, which prepares and trains individuals in director level leadership positions using the same ALE model previously elaborated as explained by Peratoner 2016, was an excellent way to affect globalization. However, Adobe has some cultural constraints. The research study, Adobe Study Indicates Global Creativity Gap, conducted in 2012, conveyed that 75% of the 5,000 Adobe employees who were interviewed said that they are constantly under pressure to be productive rather than creative. Despite that the culture of Adobe promotes and encourages creativity, the day-to-day practices pressure employees to identify their capabilities, but not all the time develop them. The gap between creativity and productivity is wide in Adobe, and it varies from one location to the other. For example, the Japan branch ranked highest in creativity, while the US ranked at 82% of its creative potential, and Germany at just 64%. This cultural constraint deftly exemplifies the gap in beliefs between two branches of the same organization. Not only there is a gap between the promoted values and the daily practices in general, but also between two branches of the same organization. The second constraint skillfully noted in the study is the impersonal relationship between the company and its customers, possibly as a result of the data being cold and complex. For example, Bala 2008 explained that due to the complexity of products, customers often are satisfied with one product from Adobe as they do not foresee the need for additional ones. Furthermore, the culture of constant and fast-growing innovations has imposed a high reliance on external distributors, which often obstructs growth and success. Additionally, in 2011, Adobe had to undergo an organizational restructuring due to a decline in profit. Financial planners at Adobe believed that the culture did not succeed at consistently sustaining the alignment between the company's strategy and its goals. Lastly, as the culture at Adobe drives the business into creating new and innovative products and services at a very fast pace, sometimes every year, there has been a weakness in adequately predicting the revenue of these new products and as a result, having a less than accurate fiscal plan. After analyzing the culture of Adobe, its strengths and weaknesses, its viability features and threats, I would like to present few recommendations to the CEO that would possibly improve the effectiveness of Adobe. The first recommendation is to bridge the gap between creativity and productivity in all departments of the company. Kozan, 2001, skillfully explained that Adobe has done an excellent job at focusing on preparing leaders and directors that it's almost leaving behind the employees who matter just as much, if not more, and namely web developers, customer service representatives, sales personnel, and marketing specialists. Adequate training and development should be offered to assist employees in re-evaluating the creativity concept and applying it, understanding how to relay important information to customers, and acquiring the best practices to market Adobe products. The second recommendation revolves around the consumer. In Adobe Study Indicates Global Creativity Gap, the researcher of the study relayed that Adobe customers sometimes lacked the adequate information pertaining to the product or the service, especially the average customer. Therefore, a more focused and detailed explanation of the product in clearer language than that in the existing Photoshop, Premiere Pro, After Effects, and Lightroom tutorials will enhance the relationship between company and all users, as well as open new doors for more profitable interaction. Moreover, social media are already being used by Adobe to promote products and new features. It would be immensely helpful to have social platforms where regular users can ask questions and receive answers in a timely manner. Additionally, the Adobe culture relies so much on innovation and fast releases that it has somewhat undermined and compromised the value of a satisfied and well-informed customer. Lastly, Bala 2008 elucidated the need to use better ways to collect user data by Adobe, as it facilitates the process and possibly gains a higher number of new users and subscriptions every year. A focus on simplifying the language of advanced technology can go a long way with average consumers, such as students and teachers, for instance. Broadening the range of consumers will definitely increase the appeal for such innovative products and services. It is understandable that in highly competitive markets like the technology industry, creating and marketing new products are a must. However, in Adobe's case, the fast pace of new releases has proved to be a little detrimental to the relationship with customers and also to important business predictions. Increasing the cycle length of new releases will allow customers to acquaint themselves with the new advanced products and have enough time to navigate them and acquire the proper relevant knowledge. Due to the high, fast pace of productivity created by the Adobe culture, a dependency on many distributors was created. Adobe will definitely minimize costs and technical problems by creating and channeling its own network of distribution instead of relying on other distributors and resellers around the world. By slowing down, Adobe will be able to devise better and more accurate action plans that reflect adequate statistics for the next fiscal year. Based on the findings through the literature review and the close analysis of Adobe's culture, it would be helpful to better assess the customer satisfaction level as well as their feedback regarding the products and customer service. This particular information will enhance any cultural change pertaining to customer service. Moreover, a thorough research on opportunities of training and development other than at the managerial and leadership level will also be insightful and would give a clear direction in terms of preparing employees in lower positions to keep up with the fast-growing business. During the study, it was noticeable that in different locations and countries, Adobe's internal culture had variations in its norms and specifically in employees' attitudes towards creativity and productivity. A future study could focus on illuminating the differences within each subculture and finding ways to connect them in a more solid way. The biggest concern within Adobe was the restructuring steps carried out in 2011. So more research around the organizational structure of the company could lead to accurate answers regarding a possible re-engineering in order to improve effectiveness and overall performance, especially in a highly competitive field. The question is, would that affect the culture? The main points to take away from this research is the perceptible gap between the promoted culture at Adobe and the actual work culture. Dr. Kim Hoojaveen, the creator of Mindset, an innovative training and coaching company, deftly explained that executives often miss the disconnect between what they want the culture to be and what it is effectively. They are often doing what is urgent and ignoring what is important. In the case of Adobe, releasing the next advanced product or service is what is urgent to be done. Everything else was just important. Even after the check-in process was integrated as a coaching and evaluating technique, I feel that its most prevalent feature was its immediacy and time saving, something that Adobe relied on to enhance its cultural identity. This is why culture analysis is instrumental in identifying strengths and building on them, as well as recognizing weaknesses and devising a plan to eradicate them. With regards to Adobe's culture, several steps can be taken separately or simultaneously in order to obtain maximum results in improving effectiveness of the company. A system of measuring progress would be helpful in assessing the changes and rectifying them accordingly. The main purpose is to transition from a constrained culture into a culture that promotes employee and customer satisfaction as well as profitability. Connecting culture with effectiveness is the first step into analyzing the culture and modifying it in ways that benefits people and finances. In conclusion, organizational culture is unequivocally a complex and comprehensive concept that encompasses many components and departments in one organization. As concluded from this research, even in highly successful companies, there are almost always cultural constraints that inhibit reaching the maximum potential of innovation, productivity, and effectiveness. While a culture analysis is the logical and effective method to assess the effectiveness of an organization, it is up to top managers to accept the need for changing or modifying the culture and adopting new ways of doing things where the human capital is truly the best asset of all. Thank you all for watching my presentation. Dr. Sanchez and classmates, I look forward to your comments and notes.